TET Offensive. I had bought a motorcycle over there, and I had gone downtown and had a really good meal. And on my way back, there was an awful lot of noise and flashes in the sky and what have you. I went by the Futo racetrack, and there was a lot of traffic in and out of there, which is unusual because it was getting pretty late at night. And as it turns out, that was the Viet Cong had already taken over the Futo racetrack, and they were using it as their home base and their mobile launching spots, what have you. Well, I got to the gate, and the guard, I was in uniform, the guard says, "Well, Sergeant, you're kind of out late, aren't you?" And I says, "Yeah, I just got a little tied up there in town." And he says, "Well, you better get on to your quarters." And so I went to my quarters, and I went in there, and there was nobody there. And I said, "Hey, where is everybody?" And one guy was in the bathroom, so he says, "They're all up on the roof watching the show." So I went up on the roof, and there was this great big cemetery right outside our perimeter there, and there were helicopters, U.S. helicopters, that were coming in, firing and firing and firing, because the VC were all over, they had tunneled all through that thing. So the next day, we went on back over to headquarters MACV, and that was the last time we got to leave there for a good while. We formed what we call the MACV Defense Force, and we filled sandbags and put bags out so we had firing points and what have you. About, I guess, 10 days after everything started, they started attacking the headquarters, and we had our weapons, and we went out, and there was a big fence around the place, but you know, big fences are just made for climbing over or chopping up and walking through. And one thing that really surprised me, there was a Peugeot automobile that was parked by this little, not big enough to be a garage, but kind of an outbuilding of some sort. And it came over the fence and several pieces. So the VC, you know, missed us, got the Peugeot, but we got to fire several rounds, several times, as the MACV Defense Force, because they were attacking our positions. And fortunately, we had those sandbags out there to hide behind, and had them fixed so that we could look through certain spots, put our weapons through there, and still see and fire. And then after about 4 or 5 days, they went away, we think. I was going back to billets. I had a Marine Corps sergeant on the back of my bike with me, and as we were going around this little curve, I heard this ding, and our bike went out from under us, and I don't know if it was a bullet or my poor driving or what, but sure took a lot of elbow and hand meat off of me. The Marine just rode me like a like a canoe. There were bullet holes all over our quarters, and there were bullet holes in our wall lockers. Anything that lit up was no longer lightable when we got back, because they just shot them. You know, if they saw a light, they shot it out. And but TET was a booger bear. We were about 3 days without anything to eat because it was headquarters. You know, there was a not a commissary, but a snack bar there that had some pretty good food, but the Koreans ran the snack bar. And they weren't coming to work yet. So finally they got us some rations in, and I never tasted anything so good in my life as sea rations. Thank God they come with can openers, the little B-38s, isn't that what we called them? Yeah. And that 20-year-old meat was just delicious. That stuff was old. But once TET was over, you know, everything was normal back in the headquarters again. Out in the boonies, they were still fighting like crazy, and we could hear them. We could also hear our artillery, our beautiful artillery, firing off rounds, and hear them landing also. There were jets strafing everywhere. TET was quite a show. A lot of people died in TET. Thank God most of them were the enemy.